I'm gonna respond to this video that was done by Now This, where basically the phrase "you guys" is just apparently so offensive, and obviously I find the whole entire video to be ludicrous. But before I start this whole entire video for you guys, I'm gonna do some sort of announcements for you guys. For example, if you want to support me financially, I have patreon.com as well as twitter.com. Not Twitter, but also like Patreon and PayPal. And my social media accounts is twitter.com, minds.com. And of course, I also have facebook.com as part of my social media. So let's look at the video and dissect the whole entire thing because honestly, this whole entire thing is just so freaking ridiculous. So let's look at it right now.
Inviting. Hey guys, welcome back to Now This. Guys is a simple term. It could mean...
Yeah, that's like the most funniest joke I could possibly imagine. Like, I'm laughing just how stupid that joke is. Like, come on. Of all the people to make the jokes, like, you cannot make a single good joke about that phrase. Come on, guys.
Mean boys, or if you're modern, hip, it means people. At first glance, guys seems inviting, friendly, maybe warm, even comedic at times. But it, like many male default terms, should not be normalized.
I'm kind of curious, who in the hell is offended by the phrase "you guys"? Like, there's like no woman in my entire life that I met that's actually afraid of this term. Like, the only kind of people that I know so far that's offended by the phrase "you guys" is actually this little girl right here. Like, I've seen people say "you guys" all the time. I've seen people say like "you all" the time. I've seen people just talking like saying "dude" and whatever to girls. So, like, there's no girl, no woman out there who is let down by, of course, this phrase "you guys." You know, it would be actually good for feminists to actually, concern about like the real issues that affect women. Like, for example, in the Middle East, they're killing off, like, of course, the gay people and they're killing off the women. They should focus their attention on that. They should also focus their attention on the issue of abortion. Like, right now, so far in this country, they actually made like the abortion stuff like not illegal, but like really hard to get in certain states. So instead of actually, focusing on something that trivial like the phrase "you guys," you should actually focus on something that actually affects people and nothing so stupid like this.
As an all-encompassing phrase, innocent as it may seem. While we may understand the word means no real harm, with a deeper look, you'll understand that we've been ignoring the cognitive impact on women as well as gender non-conforming folk.
Okay, yeah. I'm so triggered by this whole entire phrase "you guys." I'm definitely so freaking upset about this phrase. Like, how many people actually are afraid of that term? Like, this is not the first time, of course, like, people are upset about the term because basically I remember like in French and German and also Spanish, they also are really upset about this kind of language too because there are some social activists who are basically saying like, hey, we need to make Spanish and German and French much more inclusive, so let's actually make sure it's actually inclusive. But anyway, it's kind of dumb, really dumb to actually make the language much more inclusive because no one really gives a shit about it. Like, I can't imagine like anybody giving a shit about this kind of stuff. Like, for example, for the case of Spanish, they're trying to make the language much more inclusive by adding the X at Latino, which is kind of stupid because basically for like Latino, like it's already inclusive enough. So why do you need to include like the X at the end of the word? It's the same thing like for like La Policia. Like basically La Policia is like, of course, the Spanish way of saying police, right? It's like feminine, right? And it's also neutral. But there's like no men out there that's actually complaining about how feminine La Policia is. Like who actually complains about this kind of stuff? It's kind of silly.
By only explicitly addressing the male identifying individuals present. The meaning of guys has changed over time.
Oh my god, there's such a thing as linguistic evolution. I cannot possibly imagine that there is such a thing like that.
According to the Washington Post, etymologists believe it began in the 17th century with a guy named Guy Fawkes. a participant in the failed 1605 gunpowder plot. He only barely escaped a brutal execution by jumping off a scaffold and breaking his neck. For the next few centuries, those who likened him in fashion, appearance, or intellect were referred to as guys. Eventually, according to the Boston Globe, the term broadened to describe creepy people, then to a generic term for men, and now, some would say, a gender-neutral phrase.
It's the same thing for like freaking queer. Like I remember in the past, the phrase queer used to like to be like a really, really discriminatory term. But nowadays, it seems as though like gay people call themselves queer all the time. It's the same thing for tranny. Like I noticed that some people in the LGBT community use the phrase tranny all the time, even though, of course, apparently it's offensive to trans people, but now they say it's not offensive. So basically, what I'm getting from this whole entire segment right here is that linguistic evolution happens. Like, you cannot really say, of course, that you're offended by the phrase you guys because of old definitions, because ultimately phrases and words change over time due to the users that are actually using the words. So if people are actually using the word guys to mean both people, then what the hell is the problem? There's no problem at all. There's no problem.
Phrase. For decades, we have set a standard of only addressing the men in the room.
No, it does not. It does not just address the men in the womb. It's like it address everybody, no matter the gender. You said it yourself that basically, like the words change over time, right? So that means that when they say you guys, it means men and women. I'm like, you're so stupid right now. Stupid.
Room. Of course, we claim it's colloquial, but with our elevated knowledge and inclusive perspective, it just seems lazy, inconsiderate.
Yeah. And I'm sure that the phrase dude is also inconsiderate too. And I'm sure the phrase you all is also inconsiderate. Hell, let's make an entire language that not have this kind of stuff. Oh my god. Like English is like one of the most inclusive language out there. There's no gender for most words, and yet you're still complaining about how it's supposed to be gendered. Really?
And a small part of what reinforces the gender hierarchy today.
The gender hierarchy is because of words? Look, the main reason why there are so many men in power right now is not because of words. It's because basically men and women have different sort of, interests. Like there are more women who are actually more interested in actually nursing and teaching and hospital, that kind of stuff. Whereas men, they're more focused on garbage, they're focused on technology, they're focused on government. That's why there's like so many differences between the two. That's why there's like much more people who are men in power right now. So if you want to actually change the people's mind, you should actually encourage them to work into fields that they're actually interested in. And of course, not complain about stupid stuff like, hey, the phrase you guys is actually letting women down. No, it does not. What's letting women down is actually not because of this phrase. It's because of people like you. Because you always complaining about, oh my God, this phrase is so offensive. No, it's not. No, it's not to most people.
How is one to feel empowered to speak or assert themselves when upon greeting they're misgendered or even
Misgendered? Oh my goodness. No. They're not women are not freaking trans people. Come on. Look, I understand why there are some trans people that are kind of offended if you don't say he or she. And matter of fact, I actually respect to say like he or she all the time towards trans people. But like you're not misgendering a woman who was by saying the phrase you guys. Like who's actually oh my goodness.
ignored in language. Can we be surprised that for decades women often felt uncomfortable asserting their voice?
Oh no! Now they're talking about manspreading. Oh my god! No! Like, come on! Like, if women want to talk back to men, they can talk back to men. Like, mansplaining is not really a thing. Come on! Like, seriously. Like, I never had any problem talking to anyone, and I think I let them talk over me sometimes. So if a woman talks over men, is that woman's splaining or something? Come on. That's stupid. Really stupid.
When we didn't even take the time to properly acknowledge them. These linguistic tendencies were developed and reinforced in eras where women were barely meant to be seen and certainly not heard. Please note, You're not a bad feminist if you're comfortable with using the phrase guys.
Yeah, it's just like, a really bad person just by misgendering them, like you said earlier.
There are larger issues that we, the feminists, need to combat. Reproductive rights.
Exactly. Focus on reproductive rights right now. Do not focus on stupid stuff like this.
Rape culture.
Rape culture, I mean, it depends on the country. Like, if we're talking about certain parts of Europe, I do think that there is like a rape culture in some parts, like Germany, for example. However, if we're talking like the Middle East, yes, there's a rape culture. But in the United States case, like there are laws where basically like the rapists are actually convicted, and so I don't think like our culture actually endorses rape at all. There's also like a rape culture, basically like in the prison system, where like people are reported to have raped other men in prison. So there's a rape culture in prison. There's like some rape cultures in the Middle East, some parts in like Europe, but most of the West, there's no rape culture. I don't think so.
Violence against women, LGBTQ rights.
LGBTQ rights. Well, basically, it's okay for people to marry in like the West, and so most Western countries actually allow you to get married. Also, there's also, I guess, like adoption issues. Like, I guess there are some organizations that actually do not allow you to adopt like the kids if you're like LGBT, excuse me. So I guess there's like that kind of issues, but overall, I think LGBT people, oh my God, I can't talk right now. Those kind of people actually have a lot of rights here compared to the Middle East.
Rights and the general reprogramming of most people's minds when it comes to the valuation of women in society.
I think most people don't really care if a woman is a woman. Like they judge women on an individual case. Like they don't really care about this kind of stuff. The only kind of places that actually don't see women as worth is like, of course, the Middle East. So most Westerners have no problem with women. It's just like there are some places that don't care about women. So.
But when you stop valuing the personhood and visibility of individuals, you make it easier to dehumanize them on a macro scale.
Oh my God. Using the phrase you guys is not dehumanizing women. It's making them as equals. It's part of the whole entire brother stuff. Well, come on. Oh my God. It's like, how is this dehumanizing?
Minimizing his, her, its, their right to respect and equality. I'm not offended per se if someone lumps me in with the.
You just made a whole entire video how you say it's offensive that you guys is offensive. Oh my goodness.
Guys, I'm sure there's really no malintent. In fact, if you and your friends want to freely address each other, by all means. I just want you to know that you're one small step away from making a more conscious effort to dismantle the patriarchy.
Look, dismantle the patriarchy by not saying the phrase you guys. Oh. You want to know what's a real patriarchy? It's definitely not the United States, that's for sure. It's actually, the Middle East. That's the real patriarchy there. That's the actual legit patriarchy.
Don't believe me? Try walking into a room full of cisgender heterosexual men and triumphantly announce, "Hey gals, okay girls, thanks sis."
I'm pretty sure some people do say that. But still, at the same time, if it's like a group of guys and a group of girls, they say you guys.
I'm sure within 10 minutes, if not seconds, at least one person will correct you. We should all.
Yeah, I don't think that's ever going to happen because they don't really care about this kind of stuff like you do.
All be as protective of our gender identities as a cisgender heterosexual man. We deserve it. So what can you do? Substitute one "hey guys" with a simple "good morning everyone." Hi y'all, folks, everybody, scholars, team if you're at work, campers if you're in the forest, bayhive because.
Yeah, basically so many ways to say the exact same thing. Anyway, that's the whole entire video that we saw right now. But yeah, this whole entire thing is just so freaking dumb. Like, I can't believe like they actually took the time and the effort to produce this kind of video. But what do you guys think about this whole entire video? Tell me in the comment section down below. And I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye.